It smells like someone pee-peed in the basement where my office is here. I have my little office basement here. It literally smells like someone took a pee right in my office right here. It's terrible. But, chances are it's not an actual human. It's probably a canine, since we have 3 in the house, 2 of which have been known to pee in the house. So I'm assuming it's one of them. So, after I'm done this podcast, I'm going to go and investigate, see if I can find the spot where this may have occurred. It could be poop too, I'm not going to lie. It could be a number 2. I'm not exactly sure. I can't decipher the smell at the moment. But I'm going to go on a hunt after this. But first, today on the Short Simple Health Solutions podcast, we're going to talk about binge eating and how to overcome it. I'm also going to tell you a crazy story of when I witnessed a man collapse at the gym just the other day. Stay tuned, because this is going to be an episode you don't want to miss.
You're now listening to the Short Simple Health Solutions podcast. Based on logic, science, and real-life experiences, we keep it simple and lightning fast for you to view, so you can have an instant health breakthrough. Hosted by health, fat loss, and professional transformation coach, Matt Michael. Your next Short Simple Health Solution starts right now.
Welcome to the Short Simple Health Solutions podcast and another episode number. I have no clue what the episode number is, and I just went to the website and labeled all of them the other day. I'm just terrible remembering numbers. I literally have no idea what number episode this is, like 20-something. So, as much as I try to remember it every time, I just don't. So, just go by the title. If you guys go search for this episode on the website, newageholistichealth.com, or actually just shortsimplehealth.com now, because I fixed that up. You can just search today's title, Binge Eating. And, of course, we're going to cover a bunch more. But yeah, today, first of all, I want to start this podcast off with a story of how I witnessed a man collapse in the gym last week in the morning. He was not in apparent good condition by the looks of him. He looked like he had just begun exercising for the first time in a while. He was wearing jeans and a t-shirt and was accompanied by an instructor. He was only doing like a bike, minor exercise, nothing intense, very low key. So he collapsed on the bike, the exercise bike, lost consciousness. I went over to check and see if the staff needed some assistance after this happened. The ambulance was called. The firemen came. I don't know why the firemen came in this case. I guess it's just protocol here, because I don't know where they're going to put a fire out from. They're going to spray a hose on them to wake them up. I don't know, but they didn't do any of that. They just kind of came and walked out. But before that, there was the ambulance actually showed up, and they were, and also there was someone there doing CPR. But anyway, this guy collapsed, and what this really got me thinking about is some people I've worked with in the past as clients, or even some of my close friends, who even still to this day have put off their health until the last minute, or continue to put off taking care of their body. Eating junk food all the time, not really, kind of pretending that potential health issues just don't exist. Maybe some of you can relate to that out there. Sometimes when we have something bad going on, we don't want to think about how bad things can be and things like this happening. So it got me thinking of how many doctors will only prescribe exercise to unhealthy patients in order to get better. Or sometimes they'll just use general terms of just eat better. All in all, I think it's a terrible direction that this happens, and it leaves the person really lost and confused, which is typically where my job comes in. The point I want to make to this story and experience I witnessed this morning, besides, doctors aren't trained in nutrition, typically, most of them, some of them are. I've had one that was, but not a prime doctor, a primary care doctor, but a naturopath who was actually really awesome with it. But anyway, the point I want to make out of the story and experience I witnessed this morning is, guys, don't put off your health until it's too late. You don't want to put it off and put it off and put it off and then just collapse on an exercise bike. Like this poor guy right here trying to get his health together. And also the other point I want to make is don't focus on the exercise, guys. Exercise is good and all, but it's what you eat that makes all the difference. And that doesn't mean sacrificing everything or limiting yourself to dry chicken and raw broccoli. Creativity and substitution is key, and by listening to this podcast, you will learn much of that. And as a segue, you can also learn a lot about this in the upcoming Fit Nutric Commit Academy, which is not released yet, but you can go to the website, type your email in on fitnutriccommit.com or newageholistichealth.com, and you can get on the email list. And you also get some free awesome weight loss guides, sugar detox guides, and all that fun stuff if you do that as well. But you'll be the first to know and get 30 days free once the academy starts. It's a very inexpensive training program. I want to make it available to many people at a very low price. It tells you exactly what to do. That's what I'm looking forward to coming out probably this coming spring. So anyway, getting back to the story, what I want to say is creativity and substitution is key when it comes to food. And every single food we put in our bodies either has the effect of making us sicker or making us healthier. I talk about this repeatedly on here, so stay tuned. You'll hear me blibber blab about it, constantly, because it's so important, so important. But the takeaway of this statement is, Get started on your health now. Don't wait until it's too late and you end up in a hospital bed, thus forever lowering your quality of life. Because it's not about how soon we die. Of course, that's part of it. But it's also, the quality of life when you get older. If you eat crap your whole young life, your later years are not going to be fun. And I know it's kind of been, and eating healthy all the time doesn't mean you don't eat the stuff you love. The Lean Sweet Queen program I have for ladies, it teaches you exactly how to eat sweets every day if you wanted to without any backlash on your health or weight gain. If you guys are interested in that, I'm plugging this program, fitnutricommit.com/lean-sweet-queen, which is actually about to be launched to the world to the masses of many people with this program. So if you want to get in now, before the masses get in, get in early, because I'd love to have you, and it'll give us a chance to connect on more of a personal basis. So for ladies interested in that, go to fitnutricommit.com/lean-sweet-queen. For the guys, I do offer generalized coaching. You can check that out at fitnutricommit.com. If you're interested, we'll have a conversation. Anyway, getting back to the podcast and getting back to binge eating. This is going to be a little bit of a different side of binge eating that you've heard. Some of it, I'm sure, will be similar to maybe the advice you've given in the past, but I try to make things different. And we try to cover things on a physical, mental, and spiritual level because I am your PMS coach. And no, it's not what you think it is. Physical, mental, spiritual. If we heal one, we got to heal all of them in order to fully heal. That's not exactly what I meant to say. So we need to heal all of them, not just one, in order to fully heal and fully move past whatever roadblock we could possibly be in. With that said, I'm going to go into binge eating here. Many people that describe binge eating describe it as a habit that's kind of just out of their control. It could be triggered by emotion, it could be triggered by something negative happening in life, or it could be triggered simply by a craving. And we'll get into all this. It could also simply be caused by depression and anxiety, or even some medications which increase hunger levels. Now, remember, most medications don't make you fat. Okay, you can still lose weight on medications. Some medications definitely make it harder to lose weight, which I've definitely witnessed. But don't think it's impossible, or if you're on some type of medication that you can't lose some weight. That's just a side note there. Okay, so let me read my notes here on binge eating without trying to be boring. So I'm just going to say some random stuff here as I'm finding where my place is. Where is it? Okay, so they say, they say binge eating is more likely to affect people with family histories of eating disorders and obesity and all that kind of stuff. Honestly, yeah, of course it is, because you know why? Because if you're raised that way by people doing that, then yeah, you're going to be more likely to do it. But do I think that there's a biological gene that makes you binge eat? Absolutely freaking not, and I'll explain why. And honestly, guys, the number one cause of binge eating, you can probably guess what it is. Sugar addiction. Sugar is extremely addicting. Extremely freaking addicting, which if you've been listening to this podcast for a while, you know what I'm talking about. It's just as addicting as cocaine. So if you're in the mood to kind of, eat a lot of food and you start eating something sugary or a processed food even, doesn't have to be necessarily sugar because there's a lot of hidden sugars. This chips you could essentially consider a type of sugar because it turns into sugar, glycogen in your body once it's eaten. Even though potatoes are a type of starch, starch turns into sugar. Okay? So sugar is very addicting. So once you eat something, and there's other substances that are addicting too, so like chips, you can eat that, forever and ever. So let's go with sugar and processed food. Very addicting properties. A lot of times when you go to fast food restaurants, they put addicting chemicals in there to make you come back for more. Or, for instance, something I just found out the other day, apparently Dasani water, and don't quote me on this because I can't confirm this, I heard it secondhand, put salt in their water so that you're more thirsty, so you drink more water. Unfortunately, our food industry does all kinds of corrupt stuff like this because, it's just how the world works. Money, it's revolved around money, kind of like we talked about in the cancer podcast last week. It's just how it is. It's no conspiracy theory. It's just obvious, okay? It's just our world is run by money. Companies, unfortunately, some of them, not all of them, do very negative things to make more money. And the result is it costing us our health. So, lost my train of thought. So we're going to go into the meat of the presentation so that you can go home and know exactly what to do to start overcoming binge eating. So here we go. How to stop binging. So number one is fix deficiencies that often cause binge eating by taking daily vitamins. Specifically, the most important ones are vitamin D, magnesium, B vitamins, iron, zinc. All of these actually help very much with depression and anxiety as well. So if you're not vitamin D deficient, like if you have full amount of vitamin D in your system, you're going to be less likely to get depression. Same thing as if you fix your magnesium deficiency, which is extremely common. Probably almost everybody has it. You probably heard me ramble about magnesium over and over again. It's so important. If you have anxiety, you have a magnesium deficiency, chances are start taking it. It will change your life. Make sure you take enough. You can go back and listen to the episode on magnesium a few episodes back for more information on that. B vitamins help with energy, etc., all kinds of different things. Of course, iron and zinc. So number 2, so fix those deficiencies. That's number 1, because that is the most important thing. Number 2, substitute sugar and wheat. Wheat is also a cause for hunger. So if you eat sugar or wheat, you're more likely to eat a lot more food and binge eat afterwards. Okay, so when you're binge eating, if you had like a steak and vegetables and that's what you were eating, you would be much less likely to keep eating and eating and eating. But when you have foods like chips or wheat or sugary stuff, then it's so addicting and it like increases your hunger so much. That's where binge eating really comes from. Okay. So substitute sugar and wheat for gluten-free flour and natural sweeteners such as stevia and or monk fruit, and make sure you get the most natural organic flour possible. So why do we do this? It's because eating sugar and wheat stimulate hunger and cravings significantly. Also, each time you eat these foods along with other processed foods, cereals, crackers, cakes, pasta, etc., your body is depleting itself of important nutrients. So whenever you eat processed, crappy, chemical BS foods, your body has to rip nutrients from within in order to process these, which is one reason why we're deficient in things like magnesium. So your body's depleting itself of all these important nutrients, and or also it could prevent the absorption of important nutrients such as calcium and magnesium. Number 3, don't keep junk food in the house. If you want to treat every so often, go out and get it. So if you want that ice cream, which I eat ice cream once in a while, I'm not going to keep a gallon in the house, that's for sure. Or I'll make the 2-minute healthy ice cream that's included in the Lean Sweet Queen program at fitnutricommit.com/leansweetqueen for those of you interested. Awesome 2-minute ice cream recipe I put at the end of the program there. And I totally lost my train of thought advertising my program there. So yeah, don't keep junk food in the house. If you want a treat, if you want a sugary treat every once in a while, it's not going to be the end of the world. But if you know yourself and the addiction level to sugar, it will be. So you don't want to keep it in the house. And as a side note, when you're first getting off sugar, guys, it's going to be tough. I'm telling you right now, it's just like quitting cigarettes. It's going to be tough at first. It takes 2 or 3 weeks to get over sugar addiction, which is why I recommend a detox when you first start losing weight, with greens, etc. And we have a whole episode on that a few episodes back that you can search detox on the website or on the Apple or whatever you're listening to this on, Android, Google Play, all those fun things. Number 4, work through any childhood traumas, triggers, etc. by speaking openly to a therapist or friend. So a lot of times past trauma will kind of cause us to binge eating. And of course, these deficiencies and everything will help with that. But sometimes it's best to work through a past trauma. Okay, because that can be a trigger for binge eating, upsetting to you. And the best way to get over trauma is to talk about it. There's many more things we can do to get over traumas. There's certain therapy techniques, etc., that you can do this, which we will cover in future episodes on the Short Simple Health Solutions podcast, for sure. But the best thing you do is talk about it openly with someone. If you're feeling like you have trapped emotions or you don't want to talk about something, the best thing you can do is to talk about it and release it from your body, release that negative energy from your body and let it go. Lastly, one of the best things you can do to be mindful of binge eating and prevent it is to perform a daily meditation to improve self-control when experiencing impulsive thoughts. So this is really easy, guys. Don't worry if you're meditating and you have other thoughts, that's okay. It's hard. I have other thoughts too, lots of thoughts, but it just takes repetition over time. Just meditate, put some music on, kind of think about what you're about to do. You're about to consume a lot of food or you're thinking that you're going to, and just be mindful of it. Be mindful of the emotions. Learn to just kind of let it pass. Okay, you can go to YouTube, search for any meditation you want. There's probably hundreds of thousands on there, just 10 to 15 minutes just to kind of calm you down. So one thing I wanted to mention, which is I gave this presentation in person to a group of people, and one of them approached me after saying that the most helpful part of it was realizing that they are not the only ones struggling with this. So realize you are not the only one struggling with this type of binge eating. A lot of people do this and they don't want to talk about it. It's very embarrassing. And this person, actually, after I gave this presentation, says she completely stopped binging. And she said the most helpful thing was that she realized that she was not alone in this. So realize you're not alone in this. Realize that you can stop this. Realize that you can break sugar addiction, and it is completely possible. It's just a matter of changing your eating and slowly working your way into it, and not striving for perfection, okay? Nothing's ever going to be perfect. We're going to slip up. The most important thing is getting back on the horse. So before I blabber too long, I'm going to end right here. Thank you for listening to the Short Simple Health Solutions podcast. And I'm forgetting something. And I'm going to put this stuff in the show notes, so if you guys need more information or you want a step-by-step guide on how to do this, eventually these will be inside the Fit Nutrition Commit Academy, all the step-by-step ways to get over binge eating, etc., as well as, updated versions. But for now, this is going to be right on the website for free in the show notes. So everything we went over this episode in written form is going to be on the website at shortsimplehealth.com. Thank you, guys. I hope you have an awesome day. I'm going to go clean some pee-pee/poopy if I can find it. And then I'll see you next week on the Short Simple Health Solutions podcast. And I think next week I'm going to talk about the elusive topic I've been avoiding, which happened to me personally. It's actually going to be a relationship health topic and the lessons I've learned from my most recent relationship experience, as well as the crazy, insane ending it had. Okay, it'll be a little bit different of an episode, but I feel like it's very important since we all have to deal with and go through these different relationships in our life. And I'm by no means a relationship expert, by no means. I'm only going to speak from experience and speak from the heart. And then after that, guys, I don't like to say too many ahead because then I end up changing it, but we also have Zion Zeta, which for those of you who don't know is an author. She's actually for those of you who believe in this kind of stuff, alien abductee, but she's also very spiritual, very much into spiritual health. And she's doing a section on spiritual health and what we can do to stay spiritually healthy. So it's nothing crazy like ETs and everything, but she's a very intelligent woman. I had an awesome conversation with her. She's actually going to be she's going to be episode 1 of the Conversations of the Open Mind podcast, which is probably coming out this spring or this summer when I actually have time to do more editing and such. Because believe it or not, podcasting is a lot of work. You know, I got some other stuff I got to do. Just like everybody else. All right. That's it for today, guys. Thank you so much. Go to shortsimplehealth.com for the show notes and more information, and we will see you next week. Thank you.
For show notes, blogs, and free guides on physical, mental, and spiritual health topics, visit fitnutrickcommit.com.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate you listening to the show. I'd love to connect with you more on social media, so follow me on Instagram and Twitter at GetFitMusic and on Facebook in our Forever Free Facebook community. That can be found at facebook.com/groups/shortsimplehealth. I'll see you there.
Now it's time to take what you've learned from this episode and take action right now. Subscribe now, leave us a review, and stay tuned next time so we can help you on the Short Simple Health Solutions Podcast.